Oh, I just thought of something. This whole thing is called bake time, but this is a no-bake recipe. This has all been a lie. Welcome back to the Thanksgiving episode of Bake Time. Thanksgiving in the NYT Cooking kitchen, universe, cinematic, whatever we call it here, is the biggest time of year. Today, we are going to be making a cranberry cookie butter cheesecake. This combination is something that came to me when I worked at a bakery, and we had these macaron that were like cranberry cookie butter macaron, and the center of them would be like this cranberry sauce, and we would just pipe cookie butter around the edge, and they were fantastic. We had them every Thanksgiving, and they would sell out all the time, and this combination kind of lived rent-free in my head. This is also a no-bake cheesecake because this might be a hot take. I think that no-bake cheesecake is better than cheesecake. But I really wanted something that was gonna be easy and simple. Oh, it's also beautiful. It is this like dual-toned, earthy, creamy speculoos cheesecake layer, and then it's topped with this cranberry layer, which is really nice because the cookie butter layer is like really creamy. And the cranberry layer, because the cranberries have some like extra moisture in them, but also pectin, which helps gel it, it creates this very airy mousse-like texture, which is just very pleasing to eat. The crust is very simple. It is truly just ground up Biscoff cookies. The nice thing about this recipe is it uses one full sleeve of the Biscoff brand. So I'm gonna just pulse these until most everything is nice and fine. If there's like little specks here and there, once I add the sugar and the salt, which are kind of abrasive, and obviously the butter, it'll all come back together. So I don't need to be like super precious at this stage. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar. We're kind of just bolstering the flavors that are already in the speculoos cookie itself. I do like to go ahead and pulse this a couple times just to make sure that it's all incorporated before I add the butter. I feel like if butter is a big part of the flavoring aspect, use a nicer butter, like for brown butter, for example. But for something like this, it's there for fat. Being very careful of the blade. I've got my crumbs here, and I'm just gonna dump these out into the springform pan. This is a 9-inch springform. You could probably do this in like a baking dish of some sort and just spoon it out. What I like to do is I like to kind of even out my crust all over the bottom, break up any clumpalinas that I see. I like just taking a little lowball glass like this, and so I start in the middle, and then I'll start to work my way around the edge, and I can see I've got a little bit more here, so I might take some of that and put it to where I'm a little low, just so that the crust is really nice and even when I build it up the sides. You can kind of just go in there and start pressing along the edge. And if I can see like I accidentally pressed a little too hard, so I'm gonna go back in and patch that up. And that's a nice thing about a press-in crust like this, is like you can cover all manner of sins. I like for the crust to go up about halfway on the springform pan, which is really nice because when you actually go to unmold it, you won't see any of the cookie butter layer. You'll just see the like very vibrant pink cranberry layer. So I'm pretty even, I would say, around my sides. And that is your press-in crust. It does hold together really nicely after it's like the crust is frozen and then it chills for at least 4 hours, but definitely compact it pretty solidly in there. So now this goes in the freezer for, I say about an hour in the recipe, but really just as long as it takes you to make the cranberry sauce and the layers of the cheesecake itself. Ow. Did you hear all those cracks? These old bones. All right, so my crust is in the freezer right now, and really the rest of this recipe comes together pretty quickly. So all I'm gonna do is make the cranberry sauce. I think that a homemade cranberry sauce really is just like phenomenal, but I will maintain that the jellied stuff always has a seat at my table. Just had to get that out there. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just kind of like putting these over like a medium-high heat, bringing it up to a boil, and then reducing it for like 10 minutes. If you want to, This is what I do. I remove about 1/4 cup, and I like to make sugared cranberries with these. It's the holidays after all. Come on. So I'm just looking for the sauce to get nice and reduced. Stir every once in a while just to make sure that it doesn't scorch on the bottom. Oh, it smells like Thanksgiving. If I like go through with my spoon there, it leaves a nice trail and then gently falls back into itself. So this is my sign that it's done. I'm gonna strain it now. This step might seem a little fussy, but I really don't think that the cranberry skins are like that pleasant in this cheesecake. I've tried it with that, didn't love it. So I strain it so that you're left with that kind of jelly-like consistency that's all smooth. I actually like to switch to a wooden spoon for this just because I find that I'm able to actually like press and agitate through the holes of the fine mesh strainer a little bit more. And then I'll go under, scoop. Really, it just takes about 5 minutes to do this. You'll thank me for it. Come on. It's gonna cool to room temperature, honestly, pretty quickly. By the time my base is done, this will be pretty much ready to actually incorporate into it. I will say, if you're gonna come for me for anything in this recipe, it does use a lot of bowls. Whatever, sorry. That's valid. I apologize for all the dishes that you will have to do making this recipe. This next part is the assembly. I'm gonna whip some heavy cream. This is gonna act as my stabilizer for the no-bake part of the cheesecake. Don't get on the shirt. Yeah, this is not advised. So I'm just taking this to stiff peaks. I'm going to put this in the fridge just while I get the rest of everything made. So I've got my sugar here. Before I add my cream cheese to it, I'm going to just zest this orange, and then I'm gonna rub the zest into the sugar. The abrasiveness kind of breaks up the oils that are in the zest, and it just perfumes the actual cream cheese mixture even more. I just basically go in, rub these together until the whole entire mixture resembles wet sand. I added some room temperature cream cheese to this, and I'm just going to beat it until it's very, very smooth. Don't want any lumps in there before I continue with the rest of this. Forgot to add was a little bit of salt. This is just a ½ teaspoon. If you're using a table salt or Morton's sea salt, use half of that. And I like to just go through by kind of pressing it down a little bit just to see if I've got any lumps. This is where my dad would come in and be like, "Are you done with that?" Like, yes, Dad, here you go. Oh, this is gonna be excited for Thanksgiving to see my family. Anyway, here we've got our base. I'm going to add half of this to my cranberry. I haven't made a cranberries joke yet. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of this cookie butter spread to my remaining cheesecake base. I'm just gonna go in and beat both of these until they're very smooth and creamy and cohesive and emulsified. Gorge. Oh, that's such a nice, pretty pink color. And you can see, even at this stage, that this mixture is a lot looser than this one, and that is okay. They will both set up really nicely and firm. So I'm just gonna grab the whipped cream, and I'm gonna divide that equally among each of these. Sometimes I'll start it with a beater, just kind of taking it, or a whisk, honestly, and just getting some of that incorporated, and then continuing with the folding process so that I don't completely knock all the air out of it. So that is finito. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. I don't need to necessarily go in with the whisk like I did this last one, just because it's a lot looser. The crust has been freezing for about an hour, and now it's ready to employ? I don't know, assemble. Basically what I do is I just put the cookie butter layer in there, smooth it completely. And what's nice is that that doesn't actually have to set in the fridge before I put the cranberry layer on top, because they are 2 different consistencies. You can do this with the back of a spoon, an offset spatula, and I just like to make sure that it's nice and flush. And like I said, the crust like pretty much goes up to the top of it, which is great. And then this layer, I just spoon on top. And she is like vibrant pink. This is gonna go into the refrigerator uncovered for 4 hours. If you have a turkey brining in your refrigerator or something like that, you can go in after 4 hours and then cover it. It should be set enough on the top. Just be like very careful. It's done. So I was working on the kind of like vibes of what this cheesecake looked like. And I love the very vibrant pink top to it. So I took the second test of the cranberry cookie butter cheesecake to the studio. It actually was really, really well received, which I was really excited about.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, she's good.
All I gotta do now is like decorate it before I write up the recipe. I don't think that it needs too much else, but it's just me, you know, like I am never gonna take off those extra pieces of jewelry before I leave the house. So I was like, oh, sugared cranberries. It's pretty easy. Usually it just starts with like a simple syrup. If you want to make a traditional simple syrup, 1-to-1 ratio of sugar and water, you could simmer it on the stove just basically until the sugar dissolves, and that's like basically a simple syrup. I did this method, which is dissolving a little hot water in honey, because I was being a little bit lazy, and that was my truth that day. Basically what you're doing is you're just dissolving it until it's more of like a syrupy consistency. I pour that over the cranberries, kind of just toss them to coat. I'm gonna let those sit in there for about 10 minutes. Once I do that, they're gonna dry until they're just slightly sticky to the touch, and then that's when you can drizzle them with the sugar. I don't like roll them around in the sugar. I just sprinkle them over the top, because once you roll them around, they start to get like a little clumpy on a grande. I think I'm ready to decorate this sucker and slice into it. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, she looks so pretty. So I'm gonna just take a paring knife here, go around the edge, very flush with the edge of the pan. Okay, here we go. It's like when you take your belt off after a long day. Oh, it's so pretty. Gorgina Major. Okay, so now I'm just gonna have some fun with the decoration. I'm gonna go in with some of the cranberries. And to really take this over the edge, I've got some candied orange. Now, candied orange might not be the easiest thing to find, but if you can, it kind of goes with our little motif. I just love the color. Like, I think that the color is so vibrant and festive, and the candied orange on top gives it this like nice warm tone that like Thanksgiving kind of like reminds me of and harkens, but it's pink, so it's like a little gayer. You know when you usually slice a cake, you go in and up? I have found that if I do that, sometimes it gets a little smudgy. So what I actually like to do is slice down and then drag out like this, then wipe, slice down, drag out. Don't lift it, bring it out the same way that you did with the knife. That is so pretty! Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. It's like perfect. That slight spice from the speculoos with the intense tartness of the cranberry just makes for like a really pretty symphony of flavors in your mouth. It's like a flavor combination that you might not have known that you wanted, which is what I really like about it. Not only do I obviously love celebrating Thanksgiving with my family and my friends, I also love seeing people make my food on Thanksgiving. Like, the amount of joy that gives me, because Thanksgiving is such a sacred thing for so many people, that you've like trusted me enough to like make one of my recipes to bring into your family home is very touching. Make this, please tag me, share it with me on the Bake Time email. So if you made the monthly bake from last month, the salted butterscotch double chocolate chunk cookie, and you sent it in, thank you. They are so gorgeous. And thank you for buying the book if you bought it. If you haven't, what the hell are you waiting for? No, I'm just kidding. It's Thanksgiving. It's a time to be thankful. I'm thankful you're even watching this video. Happy Thanksgiving and happy baking.